East. And before we get started, okay, first team here, Philadelphia Eagles. Last year, 11-6, over under 10.5 wins. Wonky wonky finish for the Eagles last year. Like 11-6, you think, oh, it's a great record. That's great, it's a good season for the Eagles. But remember, they started 8-1 and 10-1. Thank you, 10-1. And what the hell happened last year? I mean, I don't know, but 10 is an overall number. Of course, they added Saquon Barkley. They retained their most of their talent. AJ Brown got a new extension. Blondie Smith got a new extension too as well. They did lose Jason Kelce retirement. That's huge. But I'm still gonna go over the Eagles regardless. This feels
What's the over under?
10.5.
10.5 again. Okay.
Yeah, always.
No, it was 11.5 last year. Could you imagine last year you bet the over on 11.5, they go 10-1, and they don't fucking cover that without anyone significant getting injured? They had some injuries here and there, but no one significant getting. It's not like Jalen Hurts went down, missed any games. Like AJ Brown, all those guys are playing, and they go 1-6 to end the year. Or 1-5 to end the year is crazy,
and they never recovered. Like they in the playoff game, they never recovered.
Shellacked in Tampa.
Yeah, but I'm gonna go over anyway. I mean, you want to look at the schedule real quick and see what any landmines here. I mean, I don't see. I look. To me, it's all about them. To me, like on paper, especially the added Saquon Barkley, that immediately they're propelled as one of the best teams in the conference, for certainly these. I mean, what's changed? I mean, the Kelce retirement does hurt. Jason Kelce's retirement does hurt, but to what extent?
Ernest.
What?
Okay. I know he's a former Giant, but seriously, you're bringing an injury-prone, brittle running back behind an offensive line that just lost their anchor at center, and you think that's going to be an improvement on offense?
But they have the requisite talent,
under.
Though. You under?
Take the under.
Why the under?
It's 10.5. They only won 11 games last year, and they make no major improvement on offense. Their anchor on the offensive line retires.
They have a new
the rest of their
coordinator.
tackles got a year older. I'm sorry. You don't bring in a brittle running back to solve the problem on offense.
So this schedule, like out the shoot, like they have a Green Bay and Brazil on a Friday. Weird, like Friday Peacock game. Which I think they should win that game. But then like their schedule gets really easy out the shoot. So they have Atlanta at home, at New Orleans, at Tampa. The Browns at home should be a tougher game, but they should win that game at home. Then at the Giants, okay. So they should be at least 5-1 through the stretch. Okay. Right. Now I say that knowing that they started 10-1 last year, and what happened. But I think there's a lot of internal things. Also, can I ask you a question also, too? Nick Sirianni, kind of a sneaky hot seat.
It's not sneaky. He is entrenched in a flaming hot seat.
Oh, you think because I've asked people around, they said no, that's not a big deal. But
so is it really warranted though?
No, I don't think so.
On the hot seat.
Well, we know Philly sports fans are a little nutty in the head, like they're crazy. But I will say, but the Eagles' credit though, they are a front office that is very, very aggressive with acquisitions and whatnot. So if they go 10-7 this year, they lose in the first round of playoffs, or you miss the playoffs altogether, it wouldn't surprise me if they fire him 2 years after going to the Super Bowl. Wouldn't surprise me at all.
Well, as with every good team that makes the Super Bowl, they lost both coordinators, Shane Steichen and Jonathan Gannon.
Yeah.
So obviously you saw that they were able to retain the momentum of the year before that, and then it fell apart. So is he good enough to lose all of his assistants and then reload year after year? That'll be the key question, because typically you're going to be able to keep all like some of your fundamentals that you've had from your other coordinators, but especially the way that offense just fell apart is telling. Essentially, if they're 500 by like week 13, I wouldn't be shocked if he got fired.
Wow, quite, barring a miracle like playoff run.
Yeah,
on that scenario, of course.
But I'm going over. I think they're just the elite of the NFC. They're the Chiefs of the NFC.
And the schedule's relatively easy. Like yeah, you got the Baltimore's in there and whatnot, but then you have okay. So I said 5-1 out of the shoot. Obviously, go to Cincinnati. That's gonna be a tough game. Jaguars at home should win that game. You got the Dallas split. Dallas and Dallas will split a game. You know they'll split it. That's what they do. They should sweep Washington. That's 8 wins right there. Carolina's 9. At the Rams should be a 10. Giants week 18, depending on the circumstances of the game. That's 11 wins right there. I don't know what hell's. I don't know what
everything works out. They get to 11.
No, but that's the obvious stuff. That's the obvious stuff.
I mean, you think obvious is them beating the Rams, who were a playoff team, right?
Yeah, but they also lost Aaron Donald now too. Also, and you talk about injuries. Hey, Matthew Stafford, we'll get there later on, but come on. Apply the same logic here too to Matthew Stafford.
Well, last year it wasn't their defense that was any good. So
you're going under, huh?
Yes.
You're a crazy person. Okay. So 10-7, 6 around, he loses his job. Good job.
I like the moves they made.
I do too. But that's Zach disagrees with me, but whatever.
All right, so after week 3, when they have no running backs, you come tell me how good that team
Hey, look, don't get it twisted, Zachary. I'm not rooting for them, okay? I don't want them to go 5-1. 0-6 is what I want on the table for them.
I also want to
reality versus what I want is two different things.
I also want to point out the only time Saquon can get a fucking yard is in garbage time. So let's be real.
Again, Zachary, this ain't New York. Let's be clear. I'm a Giants fan. This ain't New York.
He's got a significantly better offensive line.
Thank you. And more weapons around too, also to key on.
You can't stack that box and have A.J. Brown just torch you downfield, or Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert. Like, they got real talent there.
Exactly. I get it. Look, you and I, but we hate the Eagles. We get it. It applies. But logic versus reality.
The option's going to look like what Hurts and Barkley. It's going to be insane.
Right. All right. Next team here, the Dallas Cowboys. Of course, last year, another 12-5 season on Mike McCarthy. Over-under number also 10.5. So we have fun, make fun of the Cowboys every year. You know, America's team and make fun of Dak. But here's reality. They are a very good football team. Them making the playoffs is not a surprise for us. They are a legitimate playoff team every year. They've won 12 games 3 years in a row. The issue here is getting over the hump. Can you get to the conference championship? Can you get to the Super Bowl? It's been 29 years, you know, and it feels like the optics coming to this year right now with the CeeDee Lamb contract situation not being handled yet, the Dak Prescott situation now also with that as well. The optics feel weird. Like they should win 11 games this year. Like I'm gonna go over, but it would not shock me if they fall apart just because all these distractions now. You see CeeDee Lamb now unfollowing the team now as a result because things are breaking down with this contract situation, you know, whatnot. The optics feel weird. So I'm gonna go over because they're a good enough team. They should win 11 games just because of who they are. They'll get Diggs back in the corner this year back from injury, so they'll have the pieces in place to compete. Obviously, we're looking at it more as can they get beyond the second round of the playoffs? That's the question. But there's also an all-in year. It feels like an all-in year for the Cowboys too. Like if the Cowboys fall apart again or fail first round or second round of the playoffs, maybe they don't resign Dak if Dak does not get an extension before the season starts. I don't know. Some weird optics though. I'm gonna go over, but I'm not as confident I'm getting 12 this time. Zach,
isn't Parson also holding out?
Not yet.
Like the most
not yet. No, not yet.
On their defense.
No, not yet. No, not yet. But no surprise.
He wants a deal.
Not holding out, or is he doing the hold in where he's there for office meetings?
That's next year.
That's next year.
Next year is when he can hold out probably.
All right. Well, anytime I've seen a wide receiver hold out, timing it's all messed up.
Of course.
So even if everything was optimum going into the first 3-4 weeks of the season, which they have a kind of easy schedule to start out the gate, there's been no work between CeeDee Lamb and Dax during the offseason, training camp, preseason, nothing. You cannot tell me that time he's going to be there again. That's going to be a major issue. Then you look at their running game. You're relying on Ezekiel Elliott, who couldn't get 600 yards for him 3 years ago.
That's funny. Yeah. Wait, he is playing offensive line now, right? For the team, right? No.
Speaking of offensive line, they lost a
They
few
did.
guys.
They
Yeah.
did.
They lost their center. They lost. I mean, Tyron Smith was constantly in and out of the lineup, but their O-line depth is crazy small now. So I would be shocked if their O-line actually stepped up this year. I think you're going to see the biggest regression right there. Also, Dan Quinn gone, defensive coordinator. It's a big hit for them. That was their stalwart last year. Was A, their offense was good, but B, their defense really stepped it up, losing Diggs right off the bat for the season. So I'm going under for sure. I think.
Ooh.
Same here.
I
So
think
the regression begins
I
now.
think Zach's boys are going to make a big push and take some of them wins
We'll
away
get there
from them.
next. So this schedule is follows. Like they open at Cleveland. Honestly, I know all my friends hate me saying this. It's kind of a must-win game there against Cleveland at Cleveland.
Stop! Shut the fuck up. There's no must-win week 1 game.
I will say though, like if you're telling me there's a regression could happen this year, and the playoffs could be in the margins, 10-7. I don't know. That's going to be a big game in Cleveland.
It's a playoff team, Ernest.
Right. But okay, so you got Browns, then you got home against Saints, home against Baltimore. Then you got at the Giants, that should be a win. At Steelers, we'll see. Detroit, Niners. This is the string that really hurts them. Steelers, Lions, Niners. The next 3. Whew.
Those are all losses for the Cowboys.
Steelers too? At Steelers? It's very possible.
Yeah. Right now, yeah.
At Atlanta.
That's going to be a dog fight.
Yeah.
After what Atlanta added on defense.
It gets worse. Philadelphia at home. I mean, again, I'm saying they'll split the games, but we'll see. And then Houston at home. So that stretch there between week 5 to week 10, week 11 might be where that season is decided, really. They got the Giants again, Bengals, Carolina should be a win, Tampa should be a win at home, and then Philadelphia one more time at Philadelphia, and then Washington once again.
You're counting a lot of losses for Carolina there. You need to calm down with that.
Yeah, I just yeah. I can
Number
see why,
1 pick 3 years in a row.
I can see why Chris taking the under this one, but I feel like they'll find a way to at least get to 11. They won't get 12. They get 11.
No.
As long as they're healthy, as long as Dak's able to play, and CeeDee Lamb is healthy, they're too good a roster to not be 10 and below. So I'm gonna go over.
Lame ducks everywhere on that team.
That's true, but we'll see how this team looks like in a couple weeks. If they,
I would have total fear that CeeDee Lamb even has a decent season. Because he's.
I won't say that.
Really? Because he's going to come in without practicing, getting any rhythm, trying to go all out so he can prove he deserves his money again, and he's going to get injured.
He almost won the Triple Crown last year. Like, don't forget that. Like, he put up a monster year last year, but that also means that was a lot of work on his body.
mm-hmm.
Not too often where guys are repeating monster seasons back to back to back to back to back like that. So
Chris, you went under Zachary. What'd you do?
Under.
Wow. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, next team. Here we go. Zachary's Washington Commies. Last year, 4-13. This year, over under 6.5. Of course, they drafted Jane Daniels with the second pick in the draft. This team must be frisky, I think. They're not gonna be record-wise great, but like I could see this team. Like it wouldn't shock me if they go 8-9-ish, maybe 400-500 area. There's no 500 obviously, but 8, 9, 9, 8. I don't think it's gonna happen. But they'll be a very competitive 6-11 team though. So I'm gonna go under.
Did you know this is the first year of this decade where they have a wide receiver over 6 foot tall? It's gonna be a good season.
Shout out
We're gonna have a wide receiver who could actually jump over me. It's gonna be good.
That's funny.
Our starting tight end, he finally retired from concussions. So we actually have a healthy tight end again. And look, Sam Howell, he tried his hardest. He had a pretty decent season, 30 touchdowns, just about, almost 4,000 yards. But now you have a better quarterback with a better offensive line. And did I mention we have a receiver over 6 foot tall?
Oh,
it's gonna be good.
It's a big deal for you, huh?
Yeah,
Big day for you, huh?
Give me the over, man.
How good are they going to be though? How good? What do you? What's their ceiling? You think with the commies?
I think they max out with 8 wins.
Okay,
Yeah.
see, they're not quite eight.
And it's all because of the divisions we have to play against.
All right, Chris, what do you like the Commanders?
I'm going over. You know how high I had Jaden Daniels in my QB rankings.
Yeah,
I had him 18 or 19. He's up there for me. He's the most pro-ready guy in this draft. You can already see in preseason he's getting rid of the ball just over 2 seconds. He's not trying to hit home runs every play. They know what to do. Now all of a sudden they're gonna be like, oh wow, De'Ami Brown and Scary Terry and Johan Dotson, like these guys are studs. Like they actually have weapons there because they have a real quarterback. They rehold the entire offensive line, so you hope that will gel quickly. But the way they're coaching it is they're going to get rid of the ball so fast it's not going to make a difference. All of a sudden you have Brian Robinson going to another year being the lead back. If Dan Quinn can get that defense even looking halfway decent, they will be in a ton of games. And that's what the NFL is all about, is one-score games. If you can be within one score, you could win every single game. And I think they're going to be essentially the equivalent of the NBA League Pass team. That's what Washington's going to be. They're going to be the red zone fun team. We're going to see hey, they're back on the red zone channel again. That's crazy. I haven't seen them, on offense, like moving the ball this much in a while. Like that's crazy.
I'm pretty excited to watch Jane Downs this year, and I think, like I said, I think they'll be committed. I just think I don't know. I think you're gonna have to grab a game or two from Dallas and coverage of Dallas and Philadelphia to get over that hump, and I don't see that happening. But I think, like I said, I think it'll be competitive as hell, and I think the future looks bright for this team. I think Jane Daniels might be, if not after Caleb Williams, the rookie of the year, number 2 option. I think he'd be that good this year.
The rookie of the year.
You think he'll win this year?
Lock it up.
Okay, well, we'll see. That's part of our prediction panel of the show today. So you went over as well, huh?
Yeah.
So this is weird. I see you and Zach agreeing on shit there right now. This is weird. I'm not used to that.
We know where the brains of the show is, so it makes sense.
Oh my
it's kind of
God.
like
wow. It took all 13 years to get to this point, right? Jeez. All right, finally, I waited long enough because the last team in this division, the New York Giants, last year 6-11, imploded. This year, overall number is 6.5 wins. Put me on my resume. Under. This is it for Daniel Jones. This is it. Like, to me, it's not enough to be just as good as he was 2 years ago, which he wasn't that good, honestly. People say, oh, he had a good year 2 years ago. They won a playoff game. Dude, he was on a leash. Brian Dable had him on a leash. No. So, if I'm the Giants, let him play. Sling the fucking ball. If he turns the ball over, so be it. I don't give a damn. Let the chips lie when they may. Because if he sucks this year, they got that contract this year after the end of the year. They load him with a lot of talent around him. Malik Neighbors, rookie receiver. I think the front 7 is gonna be really good.
The front 4 is the best in the NFL.
Yes. But that means
that's without Brian Burns with Thibodeau and Dexter Lawrence.
The edges in the middle. Come on, yeah.
Insane. That front 4 is unreal.
Yeah.
But the rest of that team is so shit outside of that front 4 that there's no hope for them.
And that schedule is tough too. I don't know if you've seen the schedule yet, Ben, but this thing is it's pretty rough, man. I'll tell you right now. Like you have like Minnesota. So if they even have a shot on making the playoffs this year, you better go 2-0 at the shoot. Vikings and Commanders. Okay? Because then you're gonna have to go at Cleveland, Dallas, at Seattle, Cincinnati, Philadelphia, Steelers. Good luck with that. The Commanders again, Panthers, at Panthers rather. Tampa, and you got Tampa, and you got Dallas, New Orleans, Ravens, Falcons, Colts, and Eagles. Yeah. No shot. No shot. Under. Zach, go. Don't start your shit either.
It's gonna look. It is so close. 6 and 7 wins. I mean, you could be a 6-win team again, man.
I want look. If they're gonna suck, this sucked all the way to the end. Go
But
2
you
and 15
can't
like
suck
Carolina.
that bad because there are other teams in the NFC. Like, you look at your schedule and you're gonna name 3 teams that are probably gonna draft in front of you.
Mhm.
All right. I'm only because you're in my division, I'm gonna take the under. But I legitimately think your team sucks. So
They're bad. And I don't even think
It's my
Daniel
team. I'm
Jones,
telling you that. Come on.
but it's not even Daniel Jones's fault. Do you see the new beard, by the way? He's got a beard, looks more rugged now.
I
But
saw that.
the team around him sucks, dude. Like, you go and get Waller, he retires after 1 year.
Hey, you know why though? Rap career. We got a rap career coming up though.
The O-line is atrocious still. You let Saquon walk and you bring in Devin Singletary, like, and you go trade for Brian Burns to give him big money. That's fine. You know where the strength of that team is. But in today's NFL, I mean, it's great to have an amazing pass rush. That pass rush alone will keep them in games. But if you can't score and people are just fucking running down your throat, that pass rush doesn't mean shit. So at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure they're going to be losing by 2 scores off rip every single game. And that's that. Under.
So
They're in contention for the number 1 overall pick. 100%.
No.
Good. Implode, call a day. You have
I could easily see them going 0-6 in the division. I easily see that.
Definitely 1 and 5. I
think 1 and 5.
They'll split against Washington and they'll lose
But
twice to Dallas and twice to Washington, twice
Carolina.
to Philadelphia.
Y'all sleeping on Carolina.